Yolanda and all of them, you know.
Right.
I stayed the night at their house. Dow Kynes and them, you know the Kynes
Right. Yeah, I
family,
know.
Dwayne and them.
Yeah, like family
But
almost.
they gave me they was like, yo, you could stay. Terry was like, because he was my man through high school. He was like, yo, you could stay the night, and I'll just take you home in the morning. But what I watched them do, this ain't no lie, and I ain't making this up. And I always talk about this. I watch each brother and sister went to each bedroom door and said, hey, I love you.
Right.
I love you.
Right.
It was like the Waltons family thing that happened.
Right.
Love you, Billy Boy.
Right, I remember.
But that happened, I can remember that. And that happened like in 96. And that's how much I remember that. I remember Terry, they going to each other door, man, telling each other they loved them before they went to bed.
Wow. That's
so,
heavy.
you know, they had to grow up.
Right.
Because there was a big family.
Right.
They had to grow up with that in them, man.
Right.
And instilled in them the love. And you
Yeah,
can
and
tell they love each other.
they still carry that. I mean, the brothers do. You know what I mean? The sisters do too. They still carry that. You can see that in them.
And prayers
you know
prayers out to Yolanda Junius, man. I heard she was sick.
Right,
and I seen her post something earlier. I just want to say prayers out to the family, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything you need from our side, we got you, man.
Yeah,
Powerful
definitely,
people.
Definitely.
But like I said, when I seen that, I was like, man.
Right.
It was amazing. And it still sticks with me today.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Real.
Right. So we're delving into this lack of love, and we're going kind of slow with it. I don't like to talk too fast, Dale.
Right.
We give ourselves an hour and 10 minutes to get through the topic, and I hope we will begin to have a little more patience. And what this show is trying to do is to get people to express what they feel.
Right.
Because something you're feeling, the experience you went through, is not just for you to hold it and hide it. It's because someone else is going through it that don't have to go through it alone if you share the information.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. And so in any situation where unfortunate death is encountered or anything like that, you're being tested. Right. Will you hold this information and keep it private, or will you figure out a way to use it to help other people?
Man,
so we are looking at a generation, not only the young people to 2019, but us and the family members before us. Right. So here I am, dark-skinned fella. I see my mom and dad. They are abusing each other. Right. Verbally, they're abusing each other. Right. Physically, they're abusing each other, and in little pockets, you have these nice moments where you can remember we had a good day today. Right. But besides that, there's nothing but pain, hurt, and sorrow, to the point where you say, when I grow up and I have children,
this is how I'm gonna be.
This is how I'm gonna be.
I did it.
Right. So we're in a race to do that.
Right.
So now young children are having all of these children thinking they can do different, but their minds are no different. Man. They are abused people who will continuously use that same type or another form of either it's verbal or physical or child neglect and abuse someone else, because that is not how you fix the problem. Right. So the day we're trying to identify the problem, the root of the problem, and then try to find a few solutions to fixing the problem, because prayer is not going to fix most things. I know y'all love prayer, but prayer by itself without the proper work at the proper time for the proper result is no good. The book says it. Right. But we get so excited when we start praying and jumping and shouting that you think you fixed something that will come back to haunt you. You understand what I'm saying?
It can change it.
It can change.
But it won't fix it.
Right. It can motivate you.
Now, hold up. Let's catch Leandre real quick, Mr. Keith.
Go ahead.
Leandre, a lot of us grew up with hearing that I love you from, I missed it because mine won't do
a lot of us grew up without hearing that. I love you from our family. Man. So in return, we take on that same persona, doing the same thing to our kids and family.
Yes,
we have to understand that without love, how can we possibly grow spiritually? You are absolutely on point.
And you know what's sad about that,
Leon?
Shout out to Leandre Felder. You know what's sad about that? Because I think now, man, we've made material things. We love that more than we love some of our kids sometimes. Right. And we made them think that that's what it was. And it, no harm, pun intended, to the thing last night with all the prom stuff going on. I appreciate it, but it's getting different every year. And I don't think y'all really paying attention. I don't think there's a lot of people paying attention, man. Right. A lot of those pictures, let me point one thing out. When you looked into a lot of those kids' eyes, it didn't really mean nothing to them. Like
it was more for the parent.
Yeah,
it was more for the image.
Right.
It was more for the thing that God warns us against. He warns us against engraven images. Right. And we think an engraven image is just a physical thing, but an engraven image is a lie. Right. Being presented as the truth. Right. And so when you're being presented with an engraved image, you're being presented with a falsity that gives you a false feeling. That's like unfortunately, ladies, forgive me, when you can't find a man to love you right and you buy a sexual toy that can vibrate all kind of ways and give you pleasure, but it is killing your soul. It is killing you. It's something you can use sometimes, but if you rely on that completely, it begins to numb you. So when a man comes along who loves you, you will have sex with him, and after you finish, you go in the bathroom to that toy to top you off because you're used to that. It's a grave image. And I'm telling you that this world is opposite of God. So this world is presenting us with things. I'm going on the line with what you're saying about the things. It's presenting us with things that make us believe we feel something that we don't. It's this new world order. It is an alienation. It is a nation of alien activity. It is a hallucination. It is a nation of people who love living in a fantasy. And it is a demon nation. It is a nation of demons.
Don't forget that disillusion.
You're totally disillusioned. Yeah, you're very illusional. And God said in the book, I'm going to give you this illusional world because this is what you desire to have. And because our parents and us were so eager to get more monetarily, materialistically, we sold our children's soul to Satan. We did that, most of us. And we are always on YouTube looking at this rapper sold his soul to the devil and that rapper and pointing at them. But it's us too, because everything happens on different levels in life. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Like Barbara Wilson said, there's a lot of emptiness, man, inside of a lot of us.
Yes.
Like you always say, man, we are some damaged, broke people.
Right.
In a way, and they're always to fix this.
Right.
So we're not sitting up here complaining.
Right.
We're bringing a problem, and we're bringing a solution to the problem. That love means a lot, because you can be half of 100 years old and never felt that love. That's very damaging.
That's right.
That kills you alone inside. Not being loved kills you alone.
Right.
But everything we always talk about starts at home.
Right. That's right.
Starts at home.
Cynthia Hoyle says we need hugs, we need good words, we need support, we need patience. We need to know life is okay. We are gonna make it. This is right. This is something that I'm gonna touch on, Ms. Hoyle.
Just on the little things too.
Yeah.
The little things.
Yes. There's a lack of affection. And that lack of affection starts with birth. I didn't forget about finishing my story, but that lack of affection begins at birth. When a mother says, I don't want no baby sucking on my titties. These fancy, sexy titties is for men to see. A baby is born to nurse on your breast. The best milk in the world. It's got all the chemicals necessary to continue developing the brain of the child. We're talking about a lack of love. When you do not allow your child to nurse on your breast, you're denying them the nurturing and love that they need in order to start life.
It's funny you say that, because a lot of those kids who are breastfed, they're some of the smartest kids in school.
Man.
Geniuses,
My son was breastfed. And the only thing that can stop a child in this life from after being breastfed and nurtured by their parents is that they are detoured by their love for this world. That is the thing that destroys them. So I admire mothers who cling to their child, get them through school, get them on a path that they can see for themselves. Oh, this is what mom was trying to do. She really loves me. I want to tell you a story, man. My mother was sick. She was diagnosed with stage 5 cancer.
Oh, man.
And I took her to the doctor. All my family always worked together in situations like that.
I've seen a lot.
But I took her to the doctor, and they mistreated her so bad. As a son, I had to stand up and say something. You don't talk to my mother like that. You be more respectful. My mother said to me, boy, sit down and shut up.
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm done with that.
Excuse me, y'all.
It's not funny, but it is funny. Yeah. I want you to see how hurt people, as I think Ms. Hawley had said, hurt other people and don't even realize it. And I was taking her to another appointment, Dale, and I watched my mother deteriorate. She was already a little woman, light-skinned, half white, can't stand the sun. It's amazing that I'm so dark, but I got that from my dad. My other brother was the light-skinned pretty one, you know what I mean? My right-hand man, and he passed away too.
All right. We all got one of them in the family.
But she was about to fall. And I'm talking about lack of love and lack of affection. And she was about to fall as I was helping her to the car. So I reached back to grab her hand so that I could support her. And the minute, Dale, she caught her balance, she snatched her hand away from me like, nigga, don't touch me.
Ooh, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, for a long time, I didn't really understand that.
Right.
But her sisters treated her like garbage.
Right.
She had 3 sisters. She was the outcast because she wanted to be different. So the love, and then she had a husband who didn't pan out too well.
Right.
So the love was broken a long time ago.
Man.
And she couldn't fix it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So all she could do is reciprocate, give back what she had already received. Lack of love.
Lack of love.
You understand what I'm saying? And so I wanted, what is the word I'm looking for? I don't want to advise anyone. I don't have a right to advise you. But I want to just put that out there that
that's crazy.
You have to express, you have to get past all of your hurt and pain. Even if you have to sit down and talk with each other.
Right.
And learn how to hold hands. Learn how to look in each other. I'm talking about parents and children now. Look in each other's eyes. Oh, I love you. I was thinking about you. Today, my son, I had to take him back to Colorado 2 days ago, my wife and I. And I said, man, we really miss you when you're not here. That's all you need to tell them. It's like, man, I hate to see you leave.
It's crazy you talk about that because, man, this world will mess you up without that love.
Right.
It ain't no support like love. You see, mine's is opposite of you. My mom showed me love, but I got mad at my mom's because the people that's supposed to show her love show me love with her. You see where I'm coming from?
Right.
They wasn't around. I'm like, why you let them get away? You know, I'm not just saying daddy. I'm just saying people, period.
Right.
The world will have you messed up because when you don't feel like you love it, feel like you lost everything.
Right.
It seems like you ain't got nothing.
Right. Without it?
Yeah. Without
the love.
You'll leave this world. You'll take your own life. There's a lot of people, because like I said, there's a lot of medicines and stuff that we on is making us depressed and feel like we're not loved.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff we going through at work.
Fighting.
We feel
We're
like there's no
everywhere.
love.
Right.
You know, we're fighting against ourselves every day.
Right.
In the mirror, you try to keep up your spirituality.
Right.
You try to keep up the spirituality with church and everything else. But man, when you walk out that church house and you back at the house again, you had love there, but just feel like the love is not there. Families are getting so dysfunctional with each other.
Right. I'm gonna get beat up for this one. And that's okay, because somebody got to get beat up. You know, we always crying about Jesus on the cross and how he got beat going to the cross and how he had to carry the cross, but don't nobody want to take a lick for nothing.
Right.
I take the lick. I don't mind. God has given me mercy, and I want to prove that, and I want to show people that. But today the church has become so mechanical. That same mechanics that I talked about with the vibrator instead of a human man pleasing a woman or masturbating.
Right.
When you masturbate as a man, I'm going to get in trouble with this one too. That's a man touching another man. That's you touching yourself. Yeah. So that's 2 steps away from homosexuality. You right there at the gate. Same thing with a woman. A woman masturbating, it feels good, but you are literally 2 steps away from letting another woman touch you because it feels good that way. Yeah. Same thing with the church today. It has become so mechanical. And people are going in feeling like they're supposed to feel a certain way when they get in there.
Right.
They don't feel that way for real, but they're acting like they feel that way. So everybody you talk to, I'm blessed and highly favored, blessed and highly. How the hell you get so blessed and highly favored? You know what I mean?
Best life.
Yeah, you just living your how? I know your life. Yeah. I know what you're going through. You live right next door to me.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. Someone asked me one day, Dale, how you doing today? And I said, oh, I'm not doing too well. I said, this is happening. And they're looking at me like, I ain't expect him to say all that. And I laughed. I said, you didn't really want to know that, did you?
Yo, we are. It's funny you say that because we don't even care no more about each other's feelings, man. And I say this to say that when you tell somebody, how you doing? Well, I ain't going to complain because the word is ain't nobody going to listen.
Right.
And that's how poison we are in our minds because we don't think nobody's going to listen, man.
Right.
It all starts at home,
that's
man.
Right.
It all starts with family.
That's right.
If we don't come out that house like that,
then
we ain't going to go out to that world. That's why I always tell people, don't spoil your kids too much.
Right. That's right.
The reason why I say that is because those be the main ones kill themselves when you leave the earth because they don't know how to take care of themselves.
That's right.
They don't know how to have nothing. They brag about everything. They think they better than everybody. The world ain't gonna treat them like that.
Right.
You look at a situation. I'll bring this up for 2.2 minutes. You look at Nipsey Hussle. You had Michael Jackson had a funeral the same place.
Right.
Aretha had a big funeral.
Right.
Both of those been giving us performing arts for over 50 years.
Yeah.
This guy came through, and his was bigger than all of them.
Right, and most people didn't even know who he was, like you said.
Right, he never had a number hit record on the radio or anything.
Right.
But he touched lives.
Right.
He touched lives.
Right.
But he knew how to love.
Right.
That's love. And sometimes love is all good, but sometimes love will kill you too.
Right.
When you start playing with people's heart,
right.
When people start really loving people and they care a lot,
right.
They will hurt you and kill you to watch you break that from them.
That's right.
You got to be careful if you're showing fake love
psychosis,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're causing fake love, you got to be very careful. We're so damaged, man. Now me and my partners, when we leave off the phone, we used to say, man, I'll see you later. Now I'll be like, hey, I love you, man.
Right. I don't know if I'm going to see
that. That's right.
Right.
Times are getting so short.
Right.
We tell each other we love you, man.
Right.
It's nothing wrong with telling somebody you love them.
No.
If you haven't been able to show love, it's time to start showing love, man.
Yeah.
I'm like this, man. Things are happening so fast.
Right.
So fast. Like I'm sitting here talking to you now.
Right.
Since I talked to you last session, there's people we've lost.
There's
things that's happening.
That's right.
You know, when we walk out here every day, that's why when we spill our guts on this line to try to teach and reach people, man, this is real.
This
real. Ain't entertainment. These are educational, scientific, research, fact moments.
Right.
We done the research.
Right. You can have the best event in the world, and if it is not rooted in love, it will never go off. The last party my wife and I had at this house was for our family. We wanted all of her side of the family and my side to come together.
Right.
And when they got here, it was like, oh, why I got to be here? So one of the gentlemen all the way from New York, man, he pulled me to the side and he said, hey, I'm sorry that things aren't going the way I feel like you had intended for them to go.
Right.
He said, but keep doing what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? Because he felt what I felt.
Right.
How can you get your family together and they act like they don't want to be around you, like it's something better to do? Then be around your family. And then they'll go to the church family or the street family and everything is just lovely.
My mom's talk about stuff like that all the time. It's like, even with our Facebook posts, right?
Right.
I'll go on my friend page and say, hey, yo, I get what you're saying, but I won't go on my sibling page, my mama page, and nobody.
Right.
We be forgetting where we come from. We so dysfunctional.
Right.
But when death or tragedy hit, that's when we decide we wanted to get it together.
Right.
It ain't no secret. We should have been getting a lot of these things together, and we still not going to do it.
Right.
We sit there and we whine and cry for a certain amount of time. As soon as the pain going away, we doing the same thing.
Right. That's
we doing the same thing. Yeah,
right.
When you talking about love got to be something. There's different forms of it.
Right.
But you got to know exactly the right one that you're giving and you want to give and the one you want to receive.
Right.
It's the simple things.
That's heavy what you're saying.
You know?
Who said that? Let me go back up for a minute. Where you're talking about it different. Leandra Felder says we need to show that true agape love.
Yeah.
It says this type of love is unconditional, no strings attached, pure and simple. Agape love is God's love.
Right.
It is a different form of love, but we have abused that title too.
We have.
Because there are agape ministers who have conditions for you to be in their circle, unfortunately. But the agape love is a God love that no one can take from you. You find that God in you, and you're safe there if you can find it. But most people never get to that point because we're constantly looking for external love. And when you can't get those first stages of love, you'll never find God. Your first God is mom. That's the God's honest truth.
Right,
she birthed you. She feeds you.
Came
she
from a woman, got my name from a woman.
Your first God,
right?
yeah, your first God is your mom. You understand what I'm saying? But if mom doesn't know how to teach you, or how to nurse you, or how to bring you up in a world like this one, then you are damaged. And the opposite of love is hate. Yeah. So we are operating on hate. We are. Even when you look at Facebook, Dale, most 90% of the posts on a daily basis are people who talking about they don't need nobody.
Right.
They don't want nobody.
Right.
Look out for your haters.
Right.
And all these things. Because they are feeling unloved. They just don't say it. They're crying out for it.
They want some attention.
Right. They want attention.
You got people that sit up there all day and that's all they do. You know, that's their job.
Right.
If Facebook was a job, it'd be some rich people.
They'd be some rich people because they're hurting, bro.
You got people, man, they'd rather stay home and be on Facebook than to go to work.
Right. Because
it's real out there.
They're looking for something that says, I love you.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then you got people who are, I don't know the word love, it's the English word, and the English language is really a demonic language. I think Cynthia was talking about that one time too, Cynthia Hoylett. But it is derivative of many different languages put together to make something mean something.
Right.
But it has a different meaning.
And we've been doing that wrong for years because we're supposed to be reading from the left side versus
from the right side. Right. You know. So it's a mix-up of things. But so I don't know what the word love is in different languages. I know agape is a form of love. But we are so desperate for love.
Right.
That we are willing to do anything to get it. If you happen to stumble onto Snapchat and you get into the right Snapchat group, you will find your babies touching on themselves for money. You will find your sons pulling their private parts out for any type of attention. Yeah. This is what's happening on Snapchat. This is what's happening. Instagram is like the lead line to it. Hey, I'm on my Instagram page. Look at me here, but if you really want to see some freaky stuff,
come behind the scenes.
Go to my Snapchat.
It's crazy. I wanted to read something here. Another man observing that he is unloved may seek revenge upon the world.
Right.
Either by stirring up wars and revolutions.
Right.
Or by a pen dipped in gal.
Right.
Like Dean Swift's. Do your research on that. This is a heroic reaction to misfortune, requiring a force of character sufficient to enable a man to pit himself against the rest of the world.
That's right. That's where most fights start from. A friend of mine did 6 years in prison, Rikers Island. And he said, snitches don't tell because they can't do the time, brother. He said snitches tell because they don't want their girl to leave them and go to another dude.
Yeah.
So he said it's that love they got for this girl. Same thing happened with what's the big time drug dealer that was in New York. Nino Brown was pinned after him.
You talking about New Jack City?
Talking about
Nino?
Not
Nino.
What was the real guy though? I can't remember his name, but it'll come. Not Sam Lucas. It was not Lucas, but another one. He snitched on everybody.
Right.
Because somebody slept with his girl.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I seen that.
So it's that love thing. Because we are so desperate for unbetrayed love. And the only person that offers us that kind of love is a God that we don't know. I'm going to say that again. The only person that offers us that kind of love is a God that we are not familiar with. So 1 John 4:20. Y'all get your Bibles out. Listen to what it says. 1 John 4:20, it says, whoever claims to love God, yet hates his brother or sister is a liar. For whoever does not love their brother and sister whom they have seen cannot love a God whom they have not seen.
Man.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Man, that's crazy.
So everybody is Nikki Barnes. Thank you very much, Miss Cheryl.
Hey, Mom, what you doing watching that? Let me stop.
What you doing watching them gangster things?
Hey, she from Jersey, though,
that's
so
right.
she knows. She knows.
Thank you so much.
That's her era.
It makes a difference when people can help
you. Mama Cheryl? But you're totally right. But how destructive are we without love?
Right.
How destructive have we become without
love?
We're
very, let me see. Chrissy McDonald says this.
Bring her back.
Mac, she says, that's T-Mac's wife?
Yes. Hey, Chrissy, how you doing?
She says people know love, but don't value love.
I think we don't.
I don't, golly.
Hey.
You right on point with that, Miss T-Mac, Miss McDonald. I don't know how many people, because I don't know love.
Right.
I really don't.
Oh, man. I've learned it.
I'm learning it.
I learned
but
it.
I think I will die learning it. Because what I thought was love I was betrayed by it.
We got a bunch of expectations with it,
so
too.
it can't be that agape love that I thought I was experiencing, because people will betray you, and God does not betray.
Right.
God does not betray anyone. Whatever circumstances your life holds is something, your actions produces a reaction.
Right.
Right? And that's what I always tell my son. You're always complaining about these things happening to you, but you did it.
Right.
Your action produced a reaction.
That's why I keep saying that it has to play more. People have to play more positions when it comes to love. My mother loved me, so I should have came out a brilliant child, right?
Right.
That's not enough.
That's not enough.
Where's the father love? Where's your grandmother love?
And the consistent love.
The consistent
the
love.
teacher love.
You know what I mean?
The teacher love, the preacher love.
Everybody love.
And you touched on a point about love, and we're going to go in that before we close, about the different forms of love. Because what happens with parents is that in breastfeeding, okay, you already got this guy sucking on your breast, right? Mm-hmm. And a female.
Right.
And him sucking on your breast gives you a stimulation that makes your vagina feel like, yeah, I'm ready. Mm-hmm. When a child sucks on your breast, they give your vagina and your stomach a feeling too, but it's not the same type of feeling.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? You're producing endorphins in the child and yourself. It is a bonding mechanism.
Okay.
But because this world made everything so filthy, mothers are running away from hugging their sons, are running away from taking their son at 12 and just putting his head on their breast and just patting his head. Grandma used to do it. Grandma used to do it all the time, and she'd cook you something and talk to you. You know, boy, you're crazy.
Food was love.
You know, you're crazy, boy, but I'm going to cook you this food. I'm going to talk to you. Because love is, the energy of love goes into food.
Oh, that was T-Mac say he was using his wife's phone.
oh,
See, that's love. She lets you use her phone.
Yeah, that's real love, man, because you should have your own phone.
Barbara Wilson said, I fight the fight every day to show love, and I understand he has been hurt. That's real. That's real.
Ain't that
Yo,
sweet.
I see a bunch of hearts just coming across the screen.
Ain't that so? I'm going to give you a heart, sweetheart.
That's real. Throw them hearts at it, Keith.
It's on Dale's page, but it looked like Dale gave you a heart, but I gave you a heart.
Hey, love is love. Cheryl Rankins, life chaos causes it to be defamed, misused, and denounced, and not pronounced.
Right,
Whoa.
right. That's right.
Mama, you slapped me with that one.
That's like a mother helping her child become a criminal because she thinks she's showing them love.
Right.
Right. My son always tried to get me involved in his criminal activities, man. And I'd be like, bruh, no. You understand what I'm saying?
That's not love.
If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But don't bring that garbage over here. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's not love from me to tell you it's okay to be an ass.
Right.
And I tell them straight up, they used to be out there sticking up people. I said, man, I wish that karma come back and bite y'all in your behind. You taking something from someone who worked for it. Right? You ain't worked for it. They bust their ass and cash their check. And you going to put a gun on them and rob them. No. I said, if that karma come back and snatch you, you deserve it.
It's going to get you.
You understand what I'm saying?
And there's a lot of different love, man, because relationship love, I didn't learn how to love until I actually got with my wife, because I thought love was a weekend thing.
Nah, right.
I thought love was just when y'all go mess around and y'all chilling.
Right.
That's love. And then when you get up, it's a wrap. You don't care. She don't care.
I want to read this to you, man. The psychiatrist, Harry Edelston, at the beginning of the 21st century in the U.S. and in the UK, the death rates among infants placed in orphanage, nurseries, and foundling hospitals were in some cases close to 100%.
Talk to me.
And it says, listen to this, documents in depth these harsh realities. In the 1940s, the work of psychoanalysts and his Renee Spitz further documented high infant death rates, and it says, one of the three. And among the babies who didn't die, high percentages of cognitive, behavioral, and psychological dysfunctions. But most of these deaths were not due to starvation or disease, but to severe emotional and sensorial deprivation.
That's crazy.
In other words, a lack of love. These babies were fed and medically treated, but they were absolutely deprived of the important stimulation, especially of touch and affection.
I've seen that. Even Tebow. Got to give Tebow saying it's about saying the same thing. He said some people don't know the definition of love because they never was taught they self.
Right. That's right.
Crazy.
But that's me. I mean, I never was taught the definition of love, but I had love in my heart because you're born with it.
Yeah.
But here is the thing about love: when you give it and don't receive it, your heart will eventually break. And most of your hardcore gangster killers in the street today, somebody broke their heart.
Yeah.
And somebody can fix it.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you ever meet them on the right day, they're the people who will give you money to eat. who will pay for your whatever because they're saying, man, I don't want you out here with me.
Right.
I don't want you doing this.
Show you love.
You understand? They will show you genuine love. You understand what I'm saying? Right. And so that is where we are today. If we want to fix and address this issue, and I'm telling you all, I got to touch on things that most people will not, myself, and Dale does the same. But when you have a child who's not being caressed and nurtured at the age of 9, and that little boy goes over to his friend's house at the age of 9, and they start to hugging and touching on each other at the age of 9.
Talk to me.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And they produce the chemicals at the age of 9 to substitute the lack of love they get at home. They feel it with each other.
It happens.
At the age of 9.
It happens.
Then they start to caressing. Then they start to kissing and touching. You've lost them.
Yeah.
They're going to identify with the person that showed them that love.
Right.
Right? For those of you who don't get it, I'm talking about homosexuality, lesbianism. Not that everyone goes through that process, but
it can happen.
We push our children out. I learned about sex through masturbation and dirty magazines.
Yep.
And the only people I could see in those magazines there were white people. And I remember, let me
talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Man, I remember in high school, I was mad at God because I said, why they don't have no black women in these naked magazines? You know, I want to see some black ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Catch your boy Antonio Green up there.
I'm going to get back to that. Antonio says,
Green.
When we take the baby straight from the mom's womb, then push them in separate rooms, they're already causing a rift. What happens to laying that baby on the mom's chest as soon as they're born?
Right.
This is absolute. And another thing they do, Antonio, right in line with what you're saying, brother, is they cut the umbilical cord too soon. The baby
is that possible?
Yes, it's possible. The baby is supposed to absorb all of the nutrients from that umbilical cord before it is cut.
Oh, my God.
Now, let me give you something else that makes people not understand why they're not as healthy physically as they should be. Because the people who have mass-produced fruits and vegetables to get them to the market, Dale, they cut the fruits from the vine too soon.
Man, that's
so you go to the store and you see green bananas on the shelf that have not gotten the nourishment from the vine, from the root.
And we take them home and sit them on the table.
And they
too soon
don't have anything of value to give you with the exception that they taste like a banana.
Man, that's crazy.
Do you understand what I'm saying? That's it.
And basically, love is a form of security.
Same thing.
Those who face life with a feeling of security are much happier.
Placentas, that's right, brother.
That's right.
That's right. Go ahead.
Those who face life with a feeling of security are much happier than those who face it with a feeling of insecurity.
Right.
At any rate, so long as their sense of security does not lead them to disaster, and in a very great many cases, through not in all, a sense of security will itself help a man to escape dangers to which another would succumb.
That's right. That's right. We become very reckless when there's no love involved, right? My wife and I watched a B movie yesterday called Flowers. The ending was kind of crappy, but the movie in itself had a great point.
Right.
Where this girl was being abused by this guy, and excuse my language, parental discretion is advised. He had 2 women. One was the quote-unquote good girl. One was the quote-unquote bad, sexy girl that just freak him in the bed. So the good girl called him on the phone. He in the car, in the good girl's car with the bad girl. And he tell her, bitch, you know I need you, bitch. You my good bitch. And then the other girl in the car, he like, what you all upset for? You my bad bitch. I need you. Now the bitch at home says, yeah, you right. And the one in the car said, I'm sorry, you right.
Oh, my God.
What are they lacking?
Love.
Love. They
Affection.
lacked it from, right? So now their bodies, because he was in jail. And like, I need $3,000 to get out of jail. The girl called her father. The man said, no, I'm not giving you the money. She went and tricked to get the money.
Even when you look at the reality shows, man, they don't love each other, man.
No.
That's when you start humiliating each other on TV, you lost love a long time ago. And you selling that to make money.
That's right.
That's where the state are. Half of those people don't even be together, man.
That's right. I mean? And that's where reality television became the engraved image of what life really is.
Right.
So now the young people have been stripped of the reality of what life is because they see mama suffering. They see mama going to work every day, back hurting, feet hurting. They don't want that. Now, while mama's at work paying for the cable and all these other things, they at home looking at Real Housewives and Love and Hip Hop and putting an image of what they think they're going to be in their mind. So we spend our last dime trying to look like what television says happiness is.
And let me correct that. Tell lies vision.
That's what it is. It is telling the subconscious mind something that is not necessarily so. And that's our fault. Because we didn't, critical thinking is something that you don't really get in school. And critical thinking is something that we don't allow our children to do.
Exactly.
Now, I have always, thank God, thank you, Father, Lord, have mercy on my soul. I will allow my children to tear up something to try to figure out how to fix it.
Man.
Because I want them to realize it's not as easy as you think. And on top of that, if you do fix it, you've understood critical thinking. What I need to do to make this thing work.
Right.
I do that with all of my children. We're going to put it and we're going to fix it. So my oldest son now, man, look, he'll fix it.
You can tear it down and put it back together.
My father taught me that in absentia. I watched him. He could fix anything. So I'll try to fix anything. That is a form of love.
Right.
And that's why when the Bible says honor mother and father, that your days will be long, you have to see the greatness in those parents. I see the greatness in my mother because I see her. So what I told you earlier, it's not that for you to hate my mother.
Nah.
I love my mom.
We all do.
I love my father. They're both passed away. I love my brother. But you have to find the greatness in them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not going to teach it to you outright, but it's there for you to get it if you want it. Now listen to this real quick. The importance of touch. Human touch is fundamental for human development and survival. Research conducted by Ruth Fieldman and Tiffany Field has shown the positive effects that come from skin-to-skin touch in premature babies, and that these effects are still at work after 10 years old. To skin-to-skin, to hug someone, produces the proper chemicals to keep you alive. Significant gains in neurological development, weight gain, and mental development of premature babies have been shown to be triggered simply by skin-to-skin touch.
That's real.
You understand what I'm saying? But we are so perverted now. Mom hug her 18-year-old son. He needs your affection. Right. You feel some type of way because you hugged him. You don't want to do it no more. But those chemicals that you're feeling, they need that. You understand? They actually need a kiss on the cheek, a caressing of the head, even a punch on the shoulder. Boy, how you doing? Something to show you love them.
Right.
But we feel you grown now. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You don't need me no more.
Not the same sentimental values. You need those, man. Ain't nothing like, and there's a lot of people who lost their moms, but man, ain't nothing like mama, man. Y'all know that, man.
Right.
Out of everything. As long as you had your mom, you have everything.
Let me get back on here.
Cheryl said, y'all don't let this cold world get you down. There's love somewhere. Be mindful, though, and make them take off the mask first, and you as well.
That's right. That's right. Agreed upon from me. You have to, if you just want feeling, you get that. But I'm going to tell you something about a person who's faking love. A person that fakes love is what they portray on television as a vampire. They're there to suck all of the good out of you, and when they're done with that, they don't need you anymore. So there are people who can turn you into a whore.
Of that going around.
People can turn you into a lesbian or a homosexual. A person that can turn you into their meal ticket. A person that can turn you into anything they need to satisfy themselves. But when they have sucked you dry, then they will leave you empty. And what you see, hey, Melissa, how you doing? And what you see among people today is emptiness. They've been broken. A lot
of empty. That go back to Barbara Wilson. Emptiness in a lot of them.
Yeah, my first so-called girlfriend, she drained me. Because I thought if I give you this amount of love, you would appreciate that. My first wife, same thing. I thought I was bringing you out of condition of no love by giving you all that I had, but you abused it.
Right.
So now my wife comes along and I'm abusing her love because I was abused.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it happens.
Right.
Now I want to go into something real quick. The opposite of love, of course, is what?
Hate.
Hate.
Yeah.
And hate is a tricky word to be used when describing someone's feelings or actions, because to hate something is not necessarily bad. People Been single 14 years, not easily fooled. T-Mac says we have to defend the difference. We have to define the difference between love and appreciation. Yeah. Yes, sir. We also, hey, if you're able to do that, man, put that up on the board. The difference between love and appreciation. And another thing I want to caution people about is love, appreciation, and acts of kindness. Because acts of kindness makes you think that a person really loves you, but that is just an act of kindness. They want, either they're doing it. In most cases among black people now, we found out how to make acts of kindness a business. So we do a lot of things and we post it up because we're trying to start a business through acts of kindness.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But don't mistake that for love, though.
Right.
That ain't love.
Nah.
And don't mistake that for appreciation. That is business.
Right.
And when you mistake those two, what you do is you destroy a part of yourself because you gave your heart to something that wasn't real. Yep. A lot of time you see a lot of people on the internet now, they're very busy trying to prove to you that they only got love for you. And if I'm telling you, if God has hate and you say you are of God, how can you have only love? Explain that to me, Dale.
Right. That's a hard one right there.
One of you are more
the
scholarly.
Useful of kind or of self-confidence has a course of in emerald forms. One, man is a confident on mountains, another on sea, and yet another in air. But general self-confidence towards life comes more than anything else from being accustomed to receive as much of the right sort of affection as one has need for.
Right.
And in this habit of mine, considered as a source of zest that I wish to speak about in the present chapter of this, it's just like you said, it defines its own question. There are things that you should hate.
Right.
And I think we use that word too heavy sometimes.
Right.
Because everybody is not hating on you.
Right.
Just that everybody is not understanding where you're coming from and what are you doing. Because you probably done that before.
Right.
You probably done that before and it ain't work out for you. You know, like I always tell a lot of artists, I put my music into everything. Keep your day job.
Right.
It's all right to be one of the nicest rappers with a job.
Right.
Because if you don't make it, you need to have backup.
Right.
You know?
That's right. Listen to this, man. Go ahead, finish.
We are so accustomed to showing more hatred towards one another than love.
We're accustomed to
it. When we look at people, we already define what they are.
Right.
We already don't love them.
Right.
And somebody got right in front of you and made you not even give me the chance of loving who I am.
That's right.
Because you never took the time to have a lot of times if you have conversation with people,
that's right,
you see where they come from. And even in our marriages, and I gotta say marriages and relationships, it's not always the biggest thing you land and giving me plentiful sex that's love.
Right.
It's love through the soul of you understanding how my day went.
Well, you're
supposed
to tap into the soul when you're sexual.
Nobody does that a lot.
They just get the
physical
pleasure.
Are you well, Keith?
Right.
You well enough? You know, that's the thing is nobody cares about the mental form. It's if you physical well to do what I need you to do.
That's right.
That's what we training each other at.
That's right.
At the same time, you don't take time to look in a person's eyes and let them know, hey, man, I really appreciate this. Like me, for instance, I really appreciate Brother Jamil giving me a platform to speak to the people.
Right.
And I say this in front of everybody.
Right.
I really appreciate it. And it's my therapy. It's my therapy to come here and help bring out the truth. When I leave here, my soul is good. I sleep well. I'm feeling better about love. I appreciate my partner for giving me a chance.
That's right.
And if it don't go well, and if it is, I still appreciate it.
We had it. Right.
Because he gave it to me.
Right. That's right.
And you can never take the chance from me of what I possess myself to be nowadays.
Right.
Is to be on here and be a commentator.
Right.
Is to be on here and show love.
Because you're good at it.
Yeah. He's been telling me a long time.
I tell you, you're good at it.
Appreciation is grateful to, I missed it. I can't. I'm not touching
I'm going to do
that.
it. Go ahead. I got him.
But anyway,
go ahead and finish. I got
sometimes it's the little things. If I could say, hey, Brother Johnny, I appreciate what you're doing.
Right.
I appreciate what you've done for me.
Right, that's right.
Now, even though when you have your solo shows, I still appreciate it. I got to show love.
Right, you have to.
But I'm not going to show fake love, and he's not going to show fake love to me.
Right.
If he can't understand where I'm coming from, then you should not comment or have anything to say or rebuttal about anything.
I'll ask him to explain.
Yeah,
like I just asked T-Mac to explain appreciation. Now he got an answer up here.
Hit me with it.
So appreciation, he says, is to be grateful for or recognize the full worth of and love appreciation is to be grateful for or recognize the full worth of. And love is strong affection for another arising from kinship or personal ties. So that is the difference between appreciation and love. And I explained to you the act of kindness. And this is for the young people. I said when I posted up the flyer for the show, Dale, that I would hope people would share it more with young people. Because I think we have older people who are set in their ways.
Well, we are.
And we're not going to change because we think what we got is the absolute truth. But the moment you stop learning
is the moment you die.
The moment you die.
Yeah.
Right? So I step away from all religion at least once a month.
Right.
And I say to God, I say, whatever you want me to see, allow me to see it. But don't let me be a slave to tradition.
Right.
I want to be a slave to what you say I'm supposed to do.
Right.
I want to take this thing up a whole nother level. Rather I lose what is considered friendship or not. No, it's irrelevant.
Right.
If you can't deal with who I'm trying to become, then you're not a friend of mine anyway.
Right.
I would never tell a person who says they are homosexual to stop being gay.
Man, that's crazy.
That's not my job. If I like you as a person, I'm going to like you whoever you are.
It's crazy.
You understand? Now, if you murder somebody, you got to go to prison, but I call you. Right. You know what I'm
saying? I want to hit you with this, man. When I grew up in when I lived in Rochester, New York, Rochester is known because shout out to Glenn Murray. He played baseball there. It's like a real baseball state. And I grew up in a white neighborhood. I grew up in the neighborhood. K. Uger Street was a street around some white folks, and I played baseball, And I noticed when I would stay the night at my black people's house, and if you woke up the next morning and breakfast, we about to cook breakfast, you got to go home and eat breakfast there. Or we about to do lunch, you got to go home and eat lunch.
Right.
When I would stay at the white people's house, whatever have you. Right. Oh, Del, we're not going to take you home, buddy, until we get you some breakfast inside your stomach.
Right.
You're going to have lunch. They had lunch.
That's
and
right.
That affection and that love. So that's why it was always hard for me to really see color.
Yeah.
Until I got to South Carolina.
Right.
All right. Growing up in the city, I never seen prejudice until I got here. But the most powerful thing is when we teach our kids hate, when they see hate,
right.
Like they see parents going at it,
right.
They learning hate.
Right.
They're not learning love. They don't see the makeup part, but they learning it. But when they see that, that's what they go to school with.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
When they see a kid don't have something, they don't say, well, here, you can have some of my juice or half of my sandwich.
Right.
You ain't got no sandwich.
Right.
Those things sits inside of a child.
They hurt.
And they hurt.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't, when you find yourself a grown man or grown woman and you still think about what hurt you the most, you were really scarred by it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
You're really
right.
scarred by
That's
it.
Right.
And how we stop our kids, like now, even my kids are all grown. My kids, they grown men. I got a daughter, they grown, right? Mm-hmm. But now I'm not afraid to tell them I love them, and I have one-on-one conversations with them.
Right.
You can't always be talking about tough love. Everybody keep talking about tough love. Tough love don't always work.
Right.
You got to break down. They got to see that they could be emotional because they'll
human.
never show you nothing.
Right.
If you don't, like you said, your son, if you don't show him that he can be emotional because they think men ain't supposed to cry, don't make you a punk or anything like that.
Right.
They would never show you a side, and you need to know. And a lot of times when we lose our kids or we lose somebody, we didn't know what they was going through mentally.
Right.
That's the most hurting thing. We try to have an answer.
That's
for
great.
it.
That's great. I mean, what you said is right on point. I was reading a story today. There was this white girl. Mm-hmm. She was an A student in school, A student in college, and a black girl too. Just recently happened, but I'm talking about the white girl now. She was a go-getter. So her parents were comfortable that they had done their job and they kind of left her to move on, keep going. Well, she, in college, broke up. Her boyfriend broke up with her. Mm. And in a moment of insecurity in herself, she stuck a shotgun in her face, pulled the trigger.
See, that's crazy.
But it didn't kill her, blew her face off.
That's crazy.
So now she has to live with no face. They had to reform, to restructure her face. Mm-hmm. And she says, in a moment of insecurity, she destroyed her entire life. Goes along with what you're saying. Right. Another story here, not too far away in South Carolina, Columbia. Girl is in school, doing well, break up with her boyfriend. Now she's just ready to quit everything. Mm. It love, because you put your whole heart in what you thought was genuine love. And even in a breakup, Dale, we have to educate our young girls and young boys on how to break up with a person properly. Mm. Because for me to come to my girlfriend's house and see some other dude butt naked in the bed is not a proper breakup.
I think I'm crazy.
Yeah, that is no good. Yeah. And then you come to, I don't want you no more. You ain't nothing. You ain't never been nothing. You don't do
now
nothing.
You messing with that ego and pride. Man.
Now where I'm going but to the trunk of the car.
Yeah, that ego and pride. Yo, ladies, be careful. That ego.
Right.
And I'll be the first from a male's point of view and perspective and experience, Mel. Ego and pride is the main thing killing your men.
Yes.
That's what's killing us.
Yes, I posted up a post, man, about Humpty Dumpty. You remember the
Humpty Dumpty?
The nursery rhyme?
Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall.
Yeah. And I posted it up yesterday hoping that someone would say, what do you mean, Jamil? But people can give a damn about it.
You know what I got mad about? I'm only worried about one thing with that too, though. Where did the yolk go?
The whole story.
Talk to me.
The absolute whole story is not talking so much about, it never said an egg. Mm-hmm. It said Humpty Dumpty, but they just made an egg. Mm-hmm. But it's an esoteric story about how we are on a fence, on a wall of indecisiveness. You're playing both sides. Mm-hmm. You ain't on the right side, you ain't on the wrong side. Mm-hmm. But when you fall off and you break your ego, your insecurities,
that hurt.
And then it says all the king horses, all the king men you don't want it put back together. Right. Once you're free of your ego and your insecurities, you don't want that back.
Man, it feels so good.
You understand? You're free now.
So now that you talk about that, you always want to practice safety first for anything coming out of your house, even yourself, right?
Right.
So we got to find the things that puts us back in a security mode.
Right.
Security is love.
Right.
You know, when you got that love, that's security.
That's right.
That's a lot of security because
it relaxes you.
It gives me something come home. I've let a lot of things slide that I would never let slide with people.
Right. We got about 10 minutes left.
Because of love.
Right.
And I'm so happy that I found it.
Right.
Because if not, you would see the hate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And I want to talk, I was on that subject of hate, but I want to say this, according to the book, we want to go to Proverbs 16 through 19 because a lot of people get real nervous. You saw it? You was wondering? I got you, Melissa. You should have asked. You should have said something about it. I wanted to really talk about Humpty Dumpty and Mother Goose and even Alice in Wonderland.
Man, we got to talk about that.
And even what's the other one? It's so many of them, but they were all taken from ancient stories to teach us a lesson about ourselves. And they were made, anything that Disney grabs onto, you need to look into.
Right.
Because Walt Disney understands esoteric knowledge, and he taught it that way. He taught it. And
that's why he's a billion dollar company.
Because he tapped into things that nobody else even. And listen, God and the internet are almost alike in a way. Because if you type in the right question on the internet, you'll get an answer, a good answer.
Yeah.
And if you ask God the right question, you will eventually get the right answer.
Right.
But our problem is we always want to act like we know everything.
We do, man.
And so sometimes I used to tell my son something, he'd be like, I know. I'm like, well, who told you? How do you know? Did you get it off the internet? No, sir. Did I tell you? No, somebody told. Then how do you know? And then I would say, as a matter of fact, prove to me that you know. And that's when the problem comes in.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. So I wanted to say this. Proverbs 6, 16, and 19. New International Version. There's about 81 different versions of the Bible, but they all are saying the same thing.
Right. Talk to me.
Says there are 6 things that the Lord hates. And it says Lord. It doesn't say God. So you
start back over again. Listen very closely.
There are 6 things the Lord hates.
Okay.
7 that are detestable to him.
Okay.
Right? The first thing, haughty eyes.
Okay.
That means you busy looking at somebody else's life and not being appreciative of your own
We
life.
do that all the time.
That's what we call, that's where all that hate come in. Why Dale got another car?
Yeah.
Why Keith got this and he shouldn't have that? That haughty eye that makes you think everything that someone else has is supposed to be yours. Mm-hmm. How you going to get it? How you going to maintain
That's
it?
number one, right?
That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, a lying tongue. Lord have mercy.
Mm-hmm.
God hates a person that lies, not to the world, but to yourself.
Yeah, we do that a lot too.
God hates hands that shed innocent blood. Well, I ain't never killed nobody. The hell you didn't. Your mouth kills people.
Yes, it does.
I told Dale one day, I was like, bro, people ran up ahead of me.
Right.
And told other people about what they think I was and destroyed my life before I had a chance to even meet people.
Right.
That boy crazy.
Yeah.
That boy talking all that Muslim talk. That boy my own family did it. You understand what I'm saying? My own family contributed to bloodshed and destroyed my opportunities at a better life because they went ahead of me.
Man.
I don't know what's wrong with that boy and that crazy stuff he talking. What's crazy about what I'm saying, Dad?
Right. Especially when you've done research.
That's 3. Hardy eyes 1, lying tongue 2, hands that shed innocent blood 3, a heart that devises wicked schemes. Somebody always up to
something.
This stuff God hates now.
Okay.
Feet that are quick to rush into evil. Oh, Dale. Hey, I thought I better tell you, man. I heard so-and-so got shot.
Yeah.
Then so-and-so come to your house.
Yeah.
Keith told me you got shot.
I've seen that.
You know what I mean? Ready to destroy someone's life. This destroys love. Yeah. And this is why God hates it. But not very few of your ministers will preach this to you because they think they're going opposite of God by telling you what God hates. But anything that God hates is opposite of him.
Okay.
So if it's hate, then God is love. You got to hate what God hates.
Right.
God hates a false witness who pours out lies. A false witness who pours out. These are most of your prophetess and stuff. God is telling me that you're going to get a car and a house and a budget. Okay, all right. When he told you that? Right. Why he ain't tell it to me and I'm standing right next to you then? Right. Not all of them. Right. Some of them are very prophetic. Some of them, their hands. That's why I wanted to say this. The touching of the hands of a righteous person can heal you. And that's why people wanted to touch Jesus. They wanted to feel his skin.
Right.
They wanted to know this man so they could feel the energy of the man. That's possible. But 98% of those out there claiming they got it don't got it. Witnesses who pour out lies and a person who stirs up conflict in the community.
All the time.
Now, anyone that stirs up conflict, God hates.
Right.
When you comprehend love, and you can see hate clearly when you understand love. You can just see it, Dale. We're closing now. No matter how well it's camouflaged in charity or smiles or giving, you can see the sinister intent behind all of those who literally have hatred in their heart for you, want to use you, want to destroy your image for their purpose. We have lost generations that have been trained to be more concerned about looking the part than actually feeling and being the part. So what has happened is that they are now numb.
Right.
They are becoming narcissistic, which means they're only concerned about themselves. They're sociopathic, which means they don't care about nothing. They'll do anything to get what they want. And these are people who will destroy your life and justifying it by creating a law that says it's okay for me to kill you. These people are genuinely down to the core, have no intentions of turning back, demons. Man. They're in our face every single day, and we can't wait to get among them. We love them because they look like the important people.
Right.
Let me tell you something, and they don't want to be saved. They don't want to be right. Wrong is good for them.
Right.
They have taken over the church. I'm going to say it again. Most of the church folks that you love, they are demonic down to the core. They have taken over business. They have taken over politics and every other avenue that makes up society. Their mission is to destroy love. So once there is no love and all you have a concern for is how you look and the money you make, you've destroyed yourself. So God says in the book, a love of money is the root of all evil. Because the book, the Bible, is 75% prophecy. It ain't even happened yet. But most people read the book like it already happened. If I was there, no, you there. This is you. This is right now.
Right.
How can you give a person a warning without putting them in it, Dale?
Exactly.
You can't.
Right.
How can I tell you, Dale, hey, be careful going down 95. They got a roadblock. If I don't put you in that,
right,
I'll be like, yo, Dale, back in 1970, man, they had roadblocks. What that got to do with me?
Right, right.
Tell me something that deals with me right now. Now, they have taken over all avenues.
It is true what you say, because here it says person whose trade is to secure public admiration, such as actors, preachers, speakers, and politicians come to depend more and more upon applause.
That's right.
When they receive that due meed of public admiration, their life is full of zest.
Right.
When they do not, they become discontent
right,
and self-centered.
That's right.
The diffused goodwill of multitude does for them what is done for others by the more concentrated affection of few.
That's right. That's right. That's it, bro.
That's a wrap.
That's it. And so I caution us to be very mindful of the people that we admire. They congregate in packs.
Yeah.
And they have literally said to you on every photo that they show you, we are better than you.
Yeah.
You don't belong with us. And if you belong with us, then you got to prove yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So there are things that you got to do to make yourself appear that you belong with us.
Right.
I belong with God.
Right.
And I want to prove myself worthy of his love to me.
Right.
And I don't want anyone trying to detour me, and I hope you feel the same way, Dale,
right,
away from what you know God has given you talent and knowledge to do. Because the book talks about the men with the talents, that God gave one and he buried, the king gave one and he buried it, gave the other one talents and he doubled it, gave another one talent and he just went all out and did well.
Right.
The one who buried it and didn't try to maximize on his talent was punished for that.
Right.
So I don't want, and I encourage you to not want anyone to stop you from being who and what you are.
Exactly.
That is the only satisfaction you will receive in this life, and God will handle the rest. Now, I'm not talking about murderers and rapers and all that.
No.
I'm talking about things that are productive
right.
to society. You can't let anyone take you from that. It is reported, and we're closing, that Whitney Houston had a lesbian relationship. She loved a woman.
Right, right.
But because they thought it was bad for her career, they kind of set her up with Bobby Brown.
Right. I can believe that.
And they showed a picture of the woman.
I can believe that.
And she was never able to express her love for this woman.
Never.
Somebody aborted that for monetary gain.
Right.
And destroyed her life, but then backed away and said, look at Whitney.
Yeah.
She is a mess. What happened to her?
Right.
You know what happened to her. You were part of the problem. You didn't allow her to express her love for somebody else.
Right.
Love, again. I'm not defending the relationship, but I'm telling you when a person loves, they love, Dale.
Exactly.
And you can't take that from them. You can't tell a person who's suffered, hey, Dale, man, you can't, man, look, man, give up that music junk, man.
Right.
I can't tell you love music.
Right, right. That's my craft.
My thing
skill.
to you is, man, how has music helped you?
Right.
And you could talk to me all night long, and I'll be like, oh, man, why I asked that dude that
Therapy.
question, man? He gonna talk me to death.
For real, right?
But what we want is we want everyone to follow us so we can say, look at what I did for all of these people. That same thing you're saying right there.
Right.
All of we want the applause.
Right.
We want the recognition. So in closing, Dale, say what you got to say about the subject today.
Man, I hope the people that stayed on, that did pay attention, learned something from what we was talking about today. But it starts at the home, number one, and we got to find a way to start showing each other more love. You know what I mean? Love will conquer the hate that we're going through. Times are short. It's time to get it together. It's been time to get it together, but I learned a lot from subject matters that we talk about, and that's why we bring the research, because we want you to love, and we appreciate everybody for tuning in to Tell It Like It Is. Keep checking for us 6:30 every Sunday. We keep coming at them, man. Yeah. So hey, if you love us,
we love you. Can I put this out there real clear before we close? Yeah. Though?
If you love us, we love you. I love everybody.
I got to tell you this right here. There are 4 forms of love, and I think Mr. Felder, Miss Felder was talking about the agape love. And a lot of times we think that love is some freak thing. Right. I remember a family member I saw, and it looks like they were dressed very nice, but it looks like they were very down. So I took the time out of my loving heart to text them a message. I thought you looked nice. I thought your outfit matched your shoes very well, and you look very nice. And, you know, you remind me of a star, and I said the name of the person. And I thought that would have been comforting to that person. But they text me back and said, well, I think it's inappropriate for you to be saying something about the way I look, and you shouldn't be talking about the way I look. Shit. Excuse my language, man.
That's no love.
Are you kidding me?
No love.
Because we are not able to receive compliments. We're not able to receive love without thinking someone wants something from you.
Right.
I didn't want anything. I wanted to, that love and charity are the same.
Right.
So that was charity.
Right.
Right? And I would love, listen, I told you I was in the store yesterday and a woman passed by me, turned back around and shook my hand and said, thank y'all for doing a great job on the show.
Appreciate that.
Charity.
That's charity. Yeah.
4 forms of love, Dale. I'm going to say
me.
them, then I'm going to close. These are Greek words for love. 4 forms and what they mean. The first one is eros, E-R-O-S. That's the kind of love in the Bible, but eros love is it's the Greek word for sensual or romantic love. That's what a couple feels for each other.
Okay.
That's eros love.
So you read it at eros love.
Eros love. So that's that eros. That's that passion.
All right.
Now, when I love my child, I ain't sleeping with them.
Right.
That ain't the kind of love I'm giving them.
Right.
That's eros for my wife or my girlfriend.
Right.
Then there's storage love. Storage love, in the Bible, it is more familiar with the Greek word describing family love.
Family love.
So when you showing people love and you call them family, that's storage love. That's 2 forms of love. Love, but in different forms. You got a set of rules that you abide by. I don't use storage love to try to sleep with your wife. You understand what I'm saying? No. And then there is filial love. And filial love is the type of intimate love in the Bible that most Christians practice toward each other. That's why when you go to church, you're supposed to feel this love amongst the people, and you're just happy to be amongst the congregation. And the picture here shows black, white, Indian.
Didn't matter. Don't matter
because that is God's. That is a love. That's a form of love. And that's why I don't even pay people attention when they call me a racist, because I love everybody.
Right.
When they got love for me, I got love for them.
Right.
And they know that, so it's all good. But
hit me with the agape.
Agape love. That is the highest of the 4 types of love in the Bible. This term defines God's immeasurable, incomparable love for humankind. It is the divine love that comes from God. Agape love is perfect, unconditional, sacrificial, and pure. And so everything you see in society now is looking for agape acceptance.
Right.
So I want to be this, I want to be that.
Right.
I don't care if you love me long as God love me. But you got to answer for some things now.
Hey, Sybil said it. Sybil said it real good. Accept me for what I am.
Accept me for what I am.
Accept me for all the things that I do.
So
Shout out to Lee
listen.
Felder for teaching us about that agape today.
Hey, thank y'all so much.
Thank
Rob,
y'all. Rob
I got to
Blandon.
read what you got to say,
Yo,
Rob.
let's get Rob Blandon in. Rob always show love.
The veteran, man.
That's a veteran. What's up, Rob?
Let me read what the veteran said. The veteran say, true. Bottom line, the law of discipline, generations are different now because of the law. You can't instill like I was coming up as a kid. If talking was the way back then, imagine what and how it would be now. I'm about tough love, especially when it comes to this generation. To each his own. So
you know what? I just want to say one thing. Shout out to that brother, man, because when I came up on the come up, he gave me that name Nipsey.
Really?
And he still called me Nipsey to this day. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what's up. Rob taught me how to fade hair, bro.
Word. Rob is a legend, man.
Rob Blandon taught me
Shout
how
out
to cut.
Rob.
Rob Blandon taught me how to cut hair and how to fade it, man. I used to cut his hair. You'd be like, man, that's a effed up fade, bro. Like, man, you don't know how to do the clippers.
He gave me that name Nipsey, and I used to always say Nipsey Hustle. I'm gonna get on my Nipsey Hustle.
Right.
And once the rapper came, I never used it, but he still calls me that to this day,
That's
Nipsey. That's my dude,
so much
man.
love, man,
Shout
to
out
all
to
of
Rob.
my peoples, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning into this installment. And guess what?
What's up?
I ain't even finished half of what I had to tell you.
We're gonna have to have a part 2.
So we're gonna have to have
segments.
a part 2 because I had so much more to give advice to the parents because the children are lacking love.
Well, you know what? Can you give them a little bit before you leave?
I think that when it comes to children and love, we have to stop being militarized. We have to stop wanting them to do what they're doing just to make us look good as parents.
Okay.
Psychologists say that we never question our children about what it is in life they desire to do. We tell them what they're going to do.
We do.
And they follow that because they're trying to please us. But the moment they get from around us, they do the opposite. Proof in point. My son was very smart in math, very smart in school, never had to study.
Right.
Never. Got a scholarship to go to Morris College, and that's what I wanted. But I went to college one day to bring him some supplies, and so Kwame left. He left school. He just quit.
Hey, Gwendolyn Lemon.
Right, because he did not, that wasn't what, we didn't discuss it so much. I just thought that was the way things are supposed to go. You know, you're smart, you go to college.
Right.
Next thing I know, he's in the paper for breaking into cars. Now, that wasn't the smartest thing in the world to do, but there was confusion and conflict in him that he couldn't talk to me about.
Right.
Because I had already set my mind on what he should be.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And didn't allow him to say, well, this is what I would like to try. My mistake. And I made mistakes with all of my children. And I apologize to them as I think I should. But you can't take it back. But I still kind of navigate them through life to this day.
Okay.
You understand? I'm like the Godfather. Pops, what you think I should do? I'm like, bruh, don't do it. So I would advise parents to not be so, and I've seen a lot of young people messed up with sports, Dale, local, who thought they were going to be superstars. Right. Gwendolyn Lemon, how you doing? A lot of people thought they were going to be superstars and didn't make the grade. Right. They are afraid and ashamed to come back to Manning because they think they failed. But they didn't fail. They did their best, and that's all you can do is your best. Your best
at anything you do.
But your parents, they already done playing out your first paycheck.
When they get that check, you know. It is what it is.
So I thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank y'all, man. Tune in.
Definitely, we're going to have to go back. And I encourage you to share this because I know it's something in it of value.
It was deep today, man. I enjoyed it.
And pay attention to Dale Castro's page. Pay attention to the 19 Network, my page, the 19 Report, and Jamil Salib's page. Pay attention to T-Mac's page, to Cynthia Hoylett's page, and Antonio Green's page, and many other people who are really putting out information now.
Glenn Murray,
homeboy from down south who has experienced a lot, who is not afraid to say what's on his mind and how he feel about things. Again, I don't agree with everything Dale says. He doesn't agree with everything I say. I don't agree with everything everybody posts up. Right. But as Dale always says, if you don't agree with it, just don't say nothing.
There you go.
You don't have to debate and argue unless you feel the person is so far off track.
Right.
And what I do at that point, Dale, is I send them a private message.
Right.
I don't put it on deck. Right. You understand? So thank you.
Just throw a love sign up in there, man. Let them know you did view it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, love
sometimes
you too, Rob, man, for real, bro.
Sometimes it's too many of y'all to get back at, so I throw that love and like. Just know that I pay attention. I value all of y'all.
Yeah.
Because like my man said, you could stomp a person down to their nothing, but we still all got value. Love you too, Rob Blandon.
Yeah, for sure, man.